groups is we've got our 5 major conferences. And that's ironic because there's 4 spots in the playoff system. So there's always going to be a conference winner, a major conference winner who's not in the playoff. And just, boy, yeah, if only there was something that could be done there. Yeah, but, everybody, but there can't, because everybody is in love with the 4-team college football playoff system. I mean, it's so much better than just determining who the 2 best teams are throughout the entire season up until that point and then letting those 2 teams play for the championship. No, it's so much better to take the 2 best teams throughout the entire season and then make them have to win a play-in game to the championship. Everybody loves it, so it's it's perfect. Everybody loves it. Nobody's got any complaints, whatever. At least that's how it seems. With the exception of me. I can come up with a complaint on just about anything if I had to. But I'm not going to complain about the college playoff format right now. Oh, no, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'll save that for some other time. But like I said, in regards to the Big Ten, my predictions, my preview here, just a little bit. I mean, obviously in the East of the Big Ten, Ohio State has got to be your favorite. They're the defending national champs. However, Michigan State, Michigan with John Harbaugh at head coach now first year, and Penn State would be, in my opinion, your 3 most likely teams to overthrow Ohio State if in the event that Ohio State were to not win the eastern side of the Big Ten. I do not foresee that happening at all. But if it were, I would think it would have to be one of those other 3 teams then. Most likely Michigan State. Penn State's supposed to be fairly decent. And Michigan with Harbaugh, they might overachieve a lot this year. They're not going to be a national championship contender or nothing like that. They've still got poor recruiting classes to get through, before they can get Harbaugh's even actual guys, players out there playing for him. But he's going to have everybody amped up and getting the best out of every kid that is on that team. So that would, like I said, those would be your dark horses in the Big Ten East: Michigan State, Michigan, and Penn State. Your favorite in the East would be Ohio State. And then on the West side of the Big Ten, this is where it is fairly interesting. I think your 3 favorites have to be Wisconsin, who have beaten the Minnesota Gophers the last 11 years in a row. That's right. It has been 12 years, or more maybe. It's been at least 12 years since the Minnesota Golden Gophers football team beat the Wisconsin Football Badgers. Wisconsin lost, some players to the draft in the offseason, what have you, but they got a decent program there. And like I said, with the separating of East and West within the Big Ten, the East is definitely the stronger half, and the West has the weaker teams. But that's good news for the Gophers because the Gophers are in the West. The Gophers are one of 3 teams, along with Wisconsin, as I mentioned, and Nebraska. Those would be your 3 Big Ten West teams to keep an eye on. So again, your Big Ten teams to expect anything from. In the West, we got the Gophers, the Badgers, and the Cornhuskers. And then out East, we got the Buckeyes, the Spartans, the Wolverines, and the Nittany Lions. All right. Now, in case you were wondering where defending champion Ohio State Buckeyes are ranked, they are the number 1 team. They are the team ranked ahead of TCU in the current AP Top 25 poll. So let's see who else in the Big Ten, since we're kind of going by conferences. Let's see who else in the Big Ten is currently ranked in the top 25. Like I said, we've got Ohio State at 1, and then we've got the Michigan State Spartans at number 5. I do feel that is a little bit overrated for them. I feel that in reality they're more of a, somewhere between an 8 and 15 is, more the team I think they are. But we'll see. But so you've got two Big Ten teams in the top five, and you've got two Big 12 teams in the top five. So one could argue that those are the two best conferences based off of that. But if we go through the entire top 25, which we will, and you'll see, that doesn't necessarily hold true as we continue to go on. But so like I said, so far our Big Ten reps in the top 25, we got the Buckeyes at 1 and the Spartans at 5. And then we have to scroll all the way down from 5 to number 20 on the list, where we find our Big Ten Western Division favorites, the Wisconsin Badgers, ranked at number 20. And that is the final team in the top 25. So there are only 3 teams representing the Big Ten in the top 25, even though 2 of them are in the top 5. Now, some other teams that did receive votes for the top 25 that are in the Big Ten would be Penn State, received 20 votes, Nebraska got 6, and Michigan got 2. So Penn State looking like maybe your third dark horse, or your second dark horse, I should say, your third favorite to come out of that Big Ten East. So that's your Big Ten where it stands at right now. As I mentioned, with 2 teams in the top 5, the Big Ten share that honor with the Big 12. The Big 12 teams would be TCU, currently ranked number 2, take on the Gophers tomorrow night. Can't remind you enough. And then Baylor at number 4. And then I believe we have a little bit of a Big Ten situation where from after 4, we got to go all the way down to 19. Wow, that's the same. From 4 to 19, from 5 to 20. Same exact thing. At 19, we get Oklahoma representing the Big 12. And then they are also the last Big 12 team. So Big 12, Big 10, almost identical. 2 teams in the top 5, only 3 teams in the top 25 altogether. And their third and final team is right around 19 or 20. So, sticking with the number 12, let's go then from the Big 12 and shift our attention to the Pac-12. Now, the Pac-12 does not have anyone in the top 5, and their first appearance on the top 25 rankings right now is Oregon at number 7. Of course, you'll remember Oregon in the season they had last year with Heisman winner Marcus Mariota and making it to the championship game where they lost against the Buckeyes. They are still currently the Pac-12 favorite, ranked 7th. However, right behind them at 8th would be Steve Sarkisian's party time, good-loving USC Trojans. I am surprised to see them ranked that high without having proved anything yet this season. And then, losing Leonard Williams off that defense last year to the NFL draft alone, one would think would be significant. But so we got Oregon at 7 and USC at 8 in the Pac-12. Then we go down a little farther and we got the UCLA Bruins at number 13. And we've got the Arizona State Sun Devils, who I've heard a lot of people talking about as being, they're a team to watch this year. They're at 15. And then we've also got Stanford representing the Pac-12 at 21. And Arizona representing the Pac-12 at 22, and Arizona is another sneaky one that I've heard some people, Arizona and Arizona State, both 2 teams to keep an eye on that don't normally get a lot of college football love, but have some really good college football programs right now. So that would put your Pac-12 teams total at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams from the Pac-12 in the top 25. That is the same as the Big 10 and the Big 12 combined. So while they don't have an elite team in the top 5, they got more horses in the race. So that leaves us for major conferences then with the ACC and SEC. Before we bring those up, we'll get in the quickie conferences, as I like to call them. We've got Boise State representing the Mountain West Conference. They are the lone representative from that conference. Pretty much any year that there's a representative from that conference. They are currently ranked 23rd in the preseason polls, and they are the lone representative of that conference, as I said. And then also we have one independent school, not a member of any power conference that is also in the top 25, and that would be the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and they are currently ranked number 11. I think that's a fairly accurate place for them to start. If you watched them last year, that seems about right to me. Notre Dame starting out at 11 as the lone independent. So, all right, like I said, that leaves us with two conferences left, the ACC and the SEC. Of course, we got to save the SEC for last because that is the conference in college football. So, as far as ACC representation goes here in the top 25 entering the college football season, you've got the Florida State Seminoles, who, unfairly get to keep their Seminole nickname over other colleges such as, my family favorite, UND Fighting Sioux. And as long as I have a sports talk show, I will refer to the University of North Dakota college football teams as the Fighting Sioux until the day I die. Or, until legal ramifications. Whichever goes first. Hopefully neither. But anyway, that's another story for another time, too. Great story, by the way. But, yeah, we'll save that for a week where it's a little slower. But like I said, you got Florida State, lost Jameis Winston to the draft, lots of other people, but they recruit well. And so you got them representing the ACC at number 10 in the rankings. Then we go down just two spots, and a team that a lot of people are big on this year, the Clemson Tigers. They are ranked 12th. And then, boy, is there anyone else? Oh, yep, Georgia Tech yet at 16 from the ACC. And that is it. So 3 ACC representatives. We got 3 reps from the ACC, 3 reps from the Big Ten, 3 reps from the Big 12, 1 Mountain West, 1 Independent, 6 from the Pac-12, who's our champion right now as far as the most. But that's because we have left the power conference. They say there's 5 power conferences. In all reality, there's 1 power conference and then 4 wannabe power conferences. We've went over the wannabe power conferences. Now the one true real power conference in college football, the SEC. And their first representation on the current top 25 rankings in college football is the Alabama Crimson Tide. They call Alabama the Crimson Tide. Call me Deacon Blues. I probably just dated myself there, but anyway, so you got Nick Saban led Alabama. They're currently ranked number 3. Every year they're the Patriots of the frickin', one of the Patriots, I should say, of the college football landscape. They come in ranked at number 3. Do not be surprised to see them ranked number 1 at some point in time in the season. But I think I speak for everyone in the country who's not an Alabama fan that says let's just not have them ranked number 1 at the end of the season. Not that I don't like them, I like to see different teams win from time to time. Again, I'm from Minnesota. Like, we root for the underdog. We don't like the perennial favorite, the front runner. That's not our style here in the land of 10,000 lakes and 0 Lombardi trophies. But okay, so anyway, back to the SEC. Alabama leading the pack as expected, ranked number 3. Then we go down to number 6 to find their in-state rival Auburn. That could set up for a great rivalry game this year. Well, it is every year when you get those in-state college rivalries. And then we've got at number 9, we've got Georgia. That's another team that I have seen a lot of people very high on, making a lot of noise this season, is the Georgia football team. So there you've got the SEC with 3 teams in the top 10, I believe. Yes, they are the only conference with 3 teams in the top 10. So there you go, right there. And then we go down a little bit more, and look at that. There's more SEC teams. I thought we were only going to have 3 of them, like the Big 10 and the ACC and the Big 12. Nope. We've got the LSU Tigers at 14th. Yep, that's right. They are currently ranked 14th. And then we've got the rest of the conference here. We've got Ole Miss, currently ranked 17. We've got Arkansas, currently ranked 18. We've got Missouri, currently ranked 24th. And we got Tennessee, currently ranked 25th. Oh man, so we've got